Over the last few weeks, we've talked a lot about deeply caring about each other and our community. It's our core value. It's one of our core values here at First Capital and Church Anywhere. And I shared a story last week in the sermon that exemplifies one person caring for someone that made generational impacts in someone else's ministry. It goes like this. In the 1800s, there was a Sunday school teacher in the Boston area, and his name was Edward Kimball. And Edward taught Sunday school class every week, and one of his policies was that if any young man came to the Sunday school class for the first time, he would make sure to go out of his way to show them that he cared for them by visiting them at their place of work. So one Sunday, a guy named Dwight came to the Sunday school class, and Edward decided to go visit him during the week. Dwight was a shoe salesman, so Edward came and visited him at the place where he sold shoes, and he got to lead Dwight to Jesus that day. Dwight later was known as Dwight Moody, and he's on all kinds of buildings in Christian colleges and theological textbooks and things like that. He's one of the most famous evangelists of all time. Now, he traveled the country telling people about Jesus after he had this encounter with Edward, and one of the people that Dwight got to tell about Jesus was a guy named Wilbur Chapman. And Wilbur Chapman was a young man that had heard about Jesus through Dwight at one of the tent revivals, and he decided he wanted to become an evangelist as well. So he traveled the country telling people all over the country about Jesus as well. Now, there was a baseball player named Billy Sunday, professional baseball player, young man that went to one of the revivals that was held by Wilbur Chapman. And he heard about Jesus and decided, I want to be all in. And so he decided to quit baseball and follow Chapman around. And he started telling people about Jesus. And finally, when Chapman retired, Billy Sunday kind of took over. Now, another guy all the way across on the other side of the country named Mordecai Ham heard about Jesus through a revival that Billy Sunday did. And Mordecai Ham became an evangelist as well, and he started traveling around telling people. And finally, in Charlotte, North Carolina, a man named Billy Frank heard about Jesus for the first time and gave his life over to him from a sermon that Mordecai Ham preached. Billy Frank was later known as Billy Graham. Billy Graham impacted 2.2 billion people in his lifetime, telling them about Jesus. He's one of the most famous preachers in American history. In fact, there's people on our staff and people in our shepherd group that came to Christ because of Billy Graham. All of that happened because one Sunday school teacher deeply cared about the young men that he was entrusted with to serve and to teach. All it took was one person to make an impact on someone else's life. It was generational and impacted millions and billions of people throughout time. I believe that you can do the same thing. I think that if you decide today that you're going to deeply care about someone unlike you've ever done before, you may never see the impact, but I believe God can use it in a crazy way.